Hi, good morning. I know it's been a while since I posted those study day. I'm tired, kind of sick face. My sinus has been acting up, don't worry about it. So today is Emancipation Day in Trinidad and Tobago. And we are one of, I guess, just a few countries, because I only know of Trinidad and Guyana, where we do the whole African garb, dress up thing for Emancipation Day. Now in Trinidad, we don't just dress up. We have on, you get your full African wear together, and then there's a parade on Emancipation Day. The day before Emancipation, if people are working, they go to work in the African garb, well, African inspired garb. And a lot of people don't see the purpose or the significance of this. Now, it's more than just dressing up, and people would say, oh, and I've said it at different stages in my life, different things have been said, right? And I have said it that, you know, you dress it up for one day, how that showing your independence, how that your emancipation, how that expressing your freedom, that'll make you more black, etc., etc. But I've come to the realization, and this is the stage I'm at in my life right now, where the show of dressing up, playing that the Baptist music or the Afrobeats music, it's not just about that one day show of celebration. It's about joining as a people in celebrating our culture. And now, I don't really identify as African, you know. I'm just a person of color. I'm a Trinidadian. There's no Afrocentric thing in my life or in my mentality, really. But as a person of African descent, and recognizing how much our people have struggled and have been pushed back, and recognizing the last place basically that you were forced in, and the generational curse that has happened to us and our society and people of African descent because of the transatlantic slave trade. It really has marked the significance for me of showing in whatever form that we can that we are still here, we are still strong, we are still fighting, and we're still united as a people. And it's very hard in day-to-day life. You can see that black people are the least united race. And why is this? This is because of generations. I mean, transatlantic slave trade went on for what, nearly 400 years? Maybe over 400 years. And the psyche that would have produced in us as people of African descent, in our forefathers, it's always, don't go in the sun, you'll get too dark. Or find a man with some soft hair, take you the trend and late for school here. We make these small comments, and we don't realize how much it denigrates us as a people, and it plays on the psyche and the collective mindset. And then you have the curse of not having generational wealth. You have other communities, they've really developed and built this generational wealth. And because the mentality of our ancestors has never really been, I shouldn't say that, since the transatlantic slave trade, those of us born in the Western Hemisphere, descendants of slaves that came in from the transatlantic slave trade, we have really been cursed in that aspect, because you have their families have been torn apart from generations. Fathers taken away from their children, mothers taken away from their children. It was never, you were never allowed to express your culture. It was stripped from you. As much as they could have stripped from you, they did. And so, mind you, I'm not blaming anybody in present for it, except from benefiting from the institutional racism that still perpetuates and keeps black people in the back. But it was horrific. And that kind of trauma does not go away easily. And that kind of trauma over 400 years has not only been instilled in the mindset, but it has been encoded in the DNA and passed on through generations. And so now we are at a point where we need to fight to get it out. We need to fight all that negativity, and we need to show as much positivity as possible. And we need positive mindsets, positive culture, a positive show of what we as black people can accomplish. And yes, no, I mean, everybody want to be black except being black. They want the black culture, they want the black music, they want the black bumsy, they want the black lips, but they don't want to actually be black. You know, they like the black hair do now, which I love. We need to show more of that. We need to show more of how positive we can be, but not just by having it sanctioned by people who are not black. Yes, as a person of African descent, I am very proud of us as a community, of where we have really gone and where we are going. But there's so much more work to be done. I mean, happy Emancipation Day, y'all. Live it up, enjoy it, celebrate. Don't give in to this, I black enough. There's no need for a show. There's always, right now, our community is suffering. It's suffering from increased crime. It's suffering from just everything that has been forced upon our shoulders as people of African descent. I mean, we have to bear the consequences of something that happened so many years ago. But when you think about it, it's 400 years of slavery, less than 200 years of freedom, and even less time as being recognized as not just people, but as equal to other races. And I'm not even sure that we in ourselves have accepted and can understand that we are equal. Some of us, yes, and individually there are many people who have recognized it, but I don't think they ever recognized that we need to develop. And those of us who can see ourselves as equal, we need to show the world, and we need to show other people of African descent. And it is not just okay, so it is not just for us to have it for ourselves. It is our duty and our responsibility to generations to come to try to do that show for them. Alright, our ancestors fought for freedom. They did what they had to do. They battled slave owners. Some jumped from ships rather than come as slaves. The people on the continent of Africa, in Ghana, the Ivory Coast, Senegal, all those countries in Africa, those people are still, they've been stripped of their resources from European countries. They are still being stripped of their resources. They are still paying money to colonial powers. France is still benefiting from colonizing African countries. I mean, there are other European countries are still benefiting from it. And the African people of African descent, they're still in the back. We are still in the back. So yes, we're free, we're celebrating that, but what we're really celebrating is an opportunity now to reclaim what we have a right to, and that is just to be considered equal on the face of this earth. At one point in time, African people were the colonizers. Don't get it twisted. The Moors were all over, and the Moors weren't white. They weren't light brown. Well, they may have been light brown, right? But the Moors were black people, and they did their colonizing at one point. The Europeans are doing their colonizing at one point. Now we need to stand up and say, hey, equal is equal. We all on equal footing here. So you need to get up as people of African descent and show that celebration, not just for you, but for your children or your nieces, your nephews, the younger black people coming up, so they can also make us proud, right? As we are making our ancestors proud by being the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, and not just the business owners. You wouldn't believe how that is a market we really need to establish and take hold of that business owner market. We are no longer just slaves or just people to be used for entertainment, even though we're still killing it in the entertainment industry. All right, look, Beyonce's, she's what, the biggest entertainer in the world right now, probably, and she's a black person. Now it stirs up a little feeling of, you know, that's what they used to use us for, but we still killing it. We could show that, because she's killing it in business too, she and Jay-Z, right? We could do everything. We can be the entertainers. We can have that light-hearted, fun-free spirit that we're known for. We can celebrate things through music and rhythm and movement, and still be the intellects, still know medicine, still take care of the earth, still engineer the future. All right, and that's what we want to pass on to the future generations, that we are equal. Nobody can look down their nose at us as people of African descent. Now, I'm mixed. I mean, mainly African, right? But there are other races and ethnicities in my lineage, and I will never call long on any of them. I love them all equally. Well, the ones I know about, I have no problems with any people of any race and descent, but people of African descent really need to stand up now, and they need to show that yes, we're proud of our culture. Yes, we can still be rhythmic, enthusiastic, sensual people and still run things in the world, and we are not going to bow down. And this is what Emancipation Day celebration is for us. It's a chance to show a united front of pride to be born of African descent. And so those of us who don't understand why we would dress up for this day, right, other than just show homage that yes, we appreciate and understand, blah blah blah, all the fights that the ancestors went through, a lot of people don't understand the pride that it takes to put on that garb, knowing that it's possible that whatever tribe your ancestors were from would have worn that same Ghanaian, what they call it, kente, or do up your gele, however, I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing these words right, but we do the garb, we do the dancing, we sing the music, we praise Oshun. Well, not all of us, that's those of us who are in the Baptist community. I mean, I shouldn't even say those of us because I'm not in the community, but yeah, we show that pride and celebration, and I want us to continue doing it, especially now that we need it the most. We are getting there, people, and anytime we start faltering as a community is when I think we need to show up more, to remind ourselves that hey, this stumble is not going to be a fall, and it's not going to keep us down. Even if we fall, it's not going to keep us down as a people. So happy Emancipation Day, celebrate, live it up. I have another rant for y'all, but that will probably come later. All right, enjoy your day, celebrate, and remember, you don't just have to dress up and show up on one day for the year. All right, dress up and show up every day. And those of you of African descent who do not go to the parade, I did not make it this year, I overslept, but I'm going to encourage you all next year and every year following on August 1st, Emancipation Day in Trinidad and Tobago, to show up and show out. Go all out, dance in the streets. It's like carnival in African gear, y'all. I mean, carnival was even a manifestation of a mix of cultures, but really predominated by African people. So, hear me, dominated by African people, right? It was predominantly people of African descent that really made carnival what it is today for us. So, show up, do your thing, play your African music, rock your hair wonderfully. Don't bleach your skin. I don't know why people do it. Don't bleach your skin. It's beautiful, whatever color it is. And just love yourself, love your culture. Lend a helping hand to those of us who need it. Have a little compassion for them, because you might have been able to rise up But there are other people there, it may have been ingrained more in the psyche of their ancestors. It may have been more difficult for them. It may still be more difficult for them. So show that compassion to our brothers and sisters and really lend a hand to help inspire and empower people of African descent to really grow up and glow up. Ciao.